Good morning, viewers. How are you? Assalamu alaikum. We're live at DPS's page, and I just wanted to, obviously welcome everybody and thank you, for being here, obviously. And inshallah, we'll have a very good interactive live session. So looking forward to it. I'm glad we're starting on time. We're just, I was rushing around and getting things done today. So we're going to start taking questions as soon as we go here. And just wanted to obviously start with myself and my accomplishments and what I've done and why I'm here to speak today is, basically I migrated to USA in the year 2000, 2000. Well, I got admitted in schools in 99. And, after that, I actually started, my associate's degree here, and started working full time. And I did a lot of my tuition fees and a lot of my schooling, obviously, without a lot of support from back home. So this session's the whole purpose is to actually encourage our youth, especially, mashallah. I mean, I belong to a school that's all girls school. I'm really, really proud of. And Dawood ki jo ladkiyan hain, I mean, they've done a lot of different things and a lot of great things, obviously, even before me, and mashallah, like even after me, I can see कि जो ना काफ़ी लोग हैं जो निकल रहे हैं वहाँ से स्कूल से, and they're doing great things. So I'm not the only one. Assalamu alaikum, Mer. How are you? Hello. I have about 9 viewers and nobody's asking me any questions, so I suppose I can keep on rambling on about myself. That's great. That's a good opportunity for me. But the biggest thing that I feel is a lot of the parents in our society, especially the ones obviously coming from an all-girls school, have the same issue or the same notion that लड़की है इसको बाहर कैसे भेजेंगे पढ़ने के लिए and such things. So अगर आप parent हैं watch कर रहे हैं and you have any questions regarding migrating to a foreign country and what it is like for a girl, I mean, you should certainly ask those questions now. It's a great platform for that. What was my inspiration when I was studying at DPS? Inspiration तो काफ़ी चीज़ें इसमें include हो जाती हैं. I mean, inspiration from teachers was the biggest thing. I mean, you have माशाल्लाह से हमारा schooling system O levels A levels का इतना ज़बरदस्त है कि वहाँ पे आपको एक subject नहीं लेना होता. You are expected to learn and know about 10 to 12 subjects in different capacities, including biology, chemistry, and it's really advanced. So जब वो advanced आप करते हो पढ़ते हो तो आपको एक वो होता है कि आपको करना क्या है ज़िंदगी के अंदर, which one is your best subject. ये चीज़ें आपको कहीं और नहीं मिलती क्योंकि यूजुअली आप अगर यूएसए में पढ़ रहे होते हैं, आप 12th ग्रेड से ग्रेजुएट कर रहे होते हैं या पढ़ के निकल रहे होते हैं, तो नॉर्मली सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाए जाते हैं आपको जैसे आई गेस बेसिक लेवल के पढ़ाए जाते हैं. लेकिन हमारे जब ओ लेवल्स करता है बच्चा तो ही इज़ ऑलरेडी और ही और शी इज़ ऑलरेडी काइंड ऑफ मिड टियर डॉक्टर. जो बायोलॉजी थी मेरी तो काफ़ी इन डेप्थ थी, even chemistry and organic chemistry. So I think different aspects in the school, different teachers really, they put a stamp on you on your life, and that inspired me. A lot of inspiration came from within my home, because I also had my uncles and aunts in different areas of I guess occupations where someone was an electrical engineer, someone was a civil engineer, one was in the medical field, someone was a mechanical engineer, and my dad was a civil engineer. So, and my mother was in ticketing in the airline industry. So a lot of the inspiration also came from home because I saw everybody from such a diverse background and such a diverse, occupationary background, that it really, helped me get inspired. The other thing was, from school, obviously the subjects and my teachers obviously certainly inspired me. और वो एक और चीज़ थी इसके अंदर. So I'm able to take more questions as soon as, when did I graduate from DPS? I did graduate in 2000. The reason was in 99 I went to USA on a summer trip and I got admitted in a college, but I never made it to USA until 2000. So the year 2000 is when I graduated and I had to go back. First I was thinking मैं O levels के through जाऊंगी कि नहीं, but I think as I've said in my another interview that there were a lot of conspiracies between me graduating and going to the US for further education, और वो like सब कुछ हो नहीं पाता. लेकिन जो है अल्लाह ताला ने कुछ रास्ते बनाए कि it did happen and I was able to migrate. असमा पूछ रही हैं टीचर्स का बच्चों पर प्रेशर बहुत है और ट्यूशन्स कोई कि जब इतनी फीस भी देते हैं parents all students going to tuitions, why? That's a good question. I think it's related a lot to what has our society come to. The thing is यहाँ पे USA के अंदर you still have to go and take tuitions अगर आप you're not excelling or something, right? In Pakistan I think the bar is so high, everybody is so talented कि अगर आप कहीं भी आपकी तवज्जो कहीं चली जाए बच्चे की तो then they have to go and get tuitions, and I think वहाँ पे एक trend ही है कि like you have to get tuitions. अब जो बच्चा tuitions ले रहा होगा even though जो बच्चा नहीं ले रहा होता he or she is excelling at academics, लेकिन क्योंकि जो बच्चा ले रहा है then they feel pressured कि वो मेरे जो दोस्त है वो स्कूल भी जा रहा है ट्यूशन भी ले रहा है, तो एक ट्रेंड बन गया है कि सभी को जाना है ट्यूशन पढ़ने. Next question is, was it difficult for you to adjust yourself in a society which is quite different from ours? The thing is that I was visiting the US and UK for a long time before I actually migrated. So I was here almost every summer for holidays and every winter time, almost every other, if not every year. और उसमें ये होता था कि I got familiar with the process, I got familiar with the system here, but whenever you get here, that is a different shock. That is absolutely a different shock. My favorite teacher, that's a very controversial question. मेरी तो सारी teachers favorite हैं जिन्होंने आज मुझे बनाने में बहुत मदद की है, and मैं उनके लिए काफ़ी दुआगो हूँ कि like उन्होंने उनकी contribution की वजह से मैं जो हूँ यहाँ पे हूँ. So I mean the ones I remember fondly are obviously Mrs. Roshanara and Miss Talat, Miss Nighat, Miss Zahida was one of them. There was Mrs. Baloch, there was Sir Nasir, there was for biology, and then we had Sir Mashidi. Uske alawa, I mean from junior to like senior, there was Miss Bilkis who was our art teacher. There was Miss Parveen who was our Urdu teacher. I mean, there were so many teachers that have a contribution. It's not just one teacher. One of my favorite teachers at Dawood Public School, that's the same question I just answered. So let me scroll up ke aur kaun se sawal aaye if I've missed any. What's my next plan in the future? Inshallah, Amir, the plan is to actually help, aside from आपको एक बात बताती हूँ मैं कि अगर आप entrepreneur होते हो ज़िंदगी के अंदर, then money is not an object कि आपको जो चाहिए होता है, right? There are lots of other things that make you happy. One of the things that makes me really happy is a live session like today and giving back to the community. And, anything I can do to make it better and get 10 Amnas out of it or 10, really talented people out of it, I will do it. Because those 10 people will pay it forward to 20 people and so on. So that makes me really happy, and that's my future plan. And one of the things is to actually start something for the masses in Pakistan, which are usually the kids in Karachi. I've heard कि पाकिस्तान में इतनी uneducation नहीं है हर जगह पे, और इतनी literacy है like rural areas में जहाँ पे लोगों ने अपने खुद private schools बनाए हुए हैं और teachers teach कर रही हैं, लेकिन जो cities हैं उसके अंदर बच्चे जो कमा रहे हैं और वो 100 रुपए के लिए सारा दिन ख्वार होते हैं, उनको किसी तरह हम लोगों को स्कूल में डाल रहे हैं, उनके पेरेंट्स को किसी तरह पे करके कि उनको वो स्कूल में डालें ताकि वो फ्यूचर जनरेशन आगे कुछ बन सकें और हमारी पॉवर्टी लेवल जो है ना हाई हो सके. और वो एजुकेशन की वजह से हो सकता है और किसी और वजह से नहीं हो सकता. आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन. Teaching to DPS, is there any fear that Rizwan, the good part about DPS that I really liked, and that was when I was back there, उसका culture ऐसा था कि even in one school you can have so many different pockets, और इतनी diversification थी. कुछ बच्चियाँ बहुत modern थी और कुछ बच्चियाँ scarf लेती थी, and there was no discrimination कि आप जो है scarf नहीं पहन सकते या आप scarf जो है पहन सकते हैं, इस तरह कुछ भी नहीं था. तो आपको जो है इसमें कोई इतनी आई थिंक परेशान होने की बात नहीं होगी, इसलिए क्योंकि as long as you believe in your daughter and you believe in obviously the limits you set on her and you trust her, obviously there's nothing happening that's going to go in a disarray or in a negative fashion, because the thing is it's an all girls school. You can never go wrong with an all girls school. और वहाँ पे भी होता है कि हम लोग इवन ऑल गर्ल्स स्कूल से वी नेवर स्कूल में थे, लेकिन वी नेवर फेल्ट कि हम लोगों को कोई नीड थी कि हम लोग को एजुकेशन में जाएं. We were doing everything a normal person would do, like we would hang out and we would be excelling in all the sports, all the debates, especially myself too. I mean, I was in pretty much everything. तो कोई चीज़ short नहीं होती, even in an all girls school. Imran, salam. I know my people from Dawood Public have been coaching classes. Ms. Bilkis Falawala, yes. Thank you, Imran. Let me see. One of your favorite teachers? That's the same question. I've just answered it. Miss Kausar, Iman. I can't remember. थोड़ा सा याद दिलाओ उनका कौन सा subject है? Your favorite subject? यार मैं कल सोच रही थी मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट कौन सा था. इसके अंदर ये है कि लाइक इंग्लिश लिटरेचर was really exciting, especially with Mrs. Roshanara. May God bless her. And English was great. मेरा favorite subject उसके बाद I think was biology and additional mathematics got me challenged. और जो मेरा worst subject था वो chemistry था, because I used to hate organic chemistry. So I came to the US to become an engineer. By the way, all my family has engineers, और मुझे aeronautical engineer बनना था. I had really high aspirations. लेकिन जब मैंने यहाँ पे आके admission लिया and I was like, oh, it's 50 class. जो यहाँ पे students के sizes होते हैं bigger schools में, वो 50 होते हैं. वहाँ पे teachers assistants आपको पढ़ाते हैं, और teacher एक दो दफ़ा ही just parents होती है उनकी क्या कहते हैं semester में. तो जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया तो वो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा बिल्कुल भी सेटअप लार्जर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में. मैं पर्डू में एडमिट हुई थी और मैं IIT इलिनॉय इंस्टीट्यूट टेक्नोलॉजी में 2 सेमेस्टर मैंने किए एरोस्पेस इंजीनियरिंग की, नॉट एरोनॉटिकल. मैं एरोनॉटिकल के लिए आई थी, लेकिन यहाँ पर USA में जो शिकागो जगह है उसमें कोई लोकली कोई नहीं था. तो आई स्टेड बैक एंड आई सेड ओके लेट मी ट्राई दिस, एंड ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री इज़ व्हाट मेड मी गेट अवे फ्रॉम इंजीनियरिंग. तो वो मेरी वर्स्ट सब्जेक्ट था, बट यू नो व्हाट, आई वाज रियली ग्रेट एट business management, international business, and accounting. So I found myself a niche, and I said, okay, this is really attractive for me, and I'm really curious about numbers and what stands behind numbers, and that's how I became an accountant. So accountancy कह लो मेरा favorite subject है अगर all over देखा जाए हमारा. Teachers जो teach कर रही हैं DPS पे, I think Miss Nighat and Miss Talat are still there. There's some beauty teachers I saw at Miss Bilkis, but not a lot of teachers are still there. हमारी teachers काफ़ी senior थी, so I think they've either Inal Rajun, some of them have passed away, and some of them are still alive, but they're not teaching anymore. How students can groom themselves to become successful. I suppose that this is something that comes from within. Grooming as such, आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप हर चीज़ में involve हो, right? आप अपना find करो कि आप किस चीज़ पे आप best हैं, आपको क्या अच्छा लगता है ज़िंदगी में करने के लिए. Because never go into a field which you really don't like, or never go into a field which you're forced into, because that's not going to make you excel. आप अपनी चीज़ में सुबह 9 to 5 जॉब करोगे, आप घर जाओगे, but you won't have that satisfaction, right? लेकिन अगर आपकी जो है आपको सेटिस्फैक्शन उसी वक्त मिलती है जब आपको कोई चीज़ अच्छी लगती है करने के लिए. तो अगर आपको यानी कि बिजनेस की तरफ आपका रुझान है, आपके पास आपको केमिस्ट्री पसंद है, देन डू समथिंग इन दोज फील्ड्स, राइट? Don't become what, you know, seriously, this is a very ill advice, okay? Don't become what your parents want you to be. Find what you really like, then you're going to give it at 200%, you know, in that field. Agar aap forced ho gaya kisi cheez mein, you won't be able to give it even 100%. That's my idea. जो भी करो इतने पैशनेट वे में करें, इतने पैशन से करें कि आप जो है ना सक्सीड कर सकें और एक्सेल कर सकें. एंड दैट्स सपोज टू बी व्हाट यू शुड बिलीव इन. So that's, I think that's one of the basic things about grooming yourself, is to find out what you really, really like to do. Really. Was Miss Kosser teaching? I can't remember. Yeah, thoda sa remind karao Iman. What role a school plays in shaping the personality of a student? I think काफ़ी important role होता है school का. My school, even though it was an all-girls school, and I was sometimes was like, हम क्यों all-girls school में जाते हैं? जब भी किसी को बताओ सब कहते हैं, oh, all-girls school है. Or it seems a bit of, you know, it's like a backward kind of statement in our society. तो लेकिन पता है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह I never felt it that way, क्योंकि मैंने I think उस चीज़ को एक पॉजिटिव उसमें लिया. And I was like, somebody has to go to debates, somebody has to go and get the green house to win. Sorry about that, other houses, I do care about you guys, but greenhouse was the winning one on those days. लेकिन जो है ना ये है कि लाइक मैंने कभी अपने आप को अनफॉर्चुनेट फील नहीं किया. तो इसमें ये होता है कि हम लोगों की टीचर्स, हमारे स्कूल के एडमिन्स का काफ़ी रोल आ जाता है इसमें, कि नेवर सप्रेस्ड अस, दे नेवर सेड कि नो यू कैन डू इट. अगर हम लोगों को इंटर फेथ कोई कंपटीशन है, इंटर डिबेट है, इंटर स्कूल की फाउंडेशन पब्लिक के साथ, हबीब पब्लिक के साथ, वी वर ऑलवेज इनकरेज एंड आवर टीचर्स वर सो ग्रेट. आई मीन दे नेवर सेड कि नो वी कैन डू दिस. Even though हम लोगों ने classes miss करी हैं अपनी, but if that is what I wanted to do, there was nobody stopping me from doing it. So I think even if it's an all-girls school, nobody suppresses you as you are a girl and you can't do this. There's nobody ever said to me, you can't do this. And that's the biggest thing I feel कि Dawood Public की सबसे अच्छी बात ये रही है कि they never said no. Sadaf Bilwani, I have a question from you. I think half of it might be on another upper feed there, but I can't read it. And they have keen to go abroad for the study. Is there any possibility you get educated in a good institute? Is it local institutes you're talking about or international ones? तो थोड़ा सा clarify कर दो उसको सवाल को. Which university did I graduate from? तो अजरा क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा डिटेल है इसका आंसर. मैं यहाँ पे आई थी, मैंने यहाँ पे मैककॉर्मिक कॉलेज में 2 साल, प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूट इन डाउनटाउन शिकागो, उसमें 2 साल इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस की एसोसिएट डिग्री ली. फिर उसके बाद मैंने अपना बैचलर्स स्टार्ट किया IIT में, इलिनॉय इंस्टीट्यूट टेक्नोलॉजी में, और 2 सेमेस्टर्स मैंने वहाँ पे किया. अब आप इन सारी इंस्टीट्यूशंस को आई गेस वो कर लें कि they actually played a part in you know reforming my personality. तो फिर उसके बाद मैंने ट्रांसफ़र किया बिजनेस स्कूल के अंदर लोयोला यूनिवर्सिटी में, and I think that's the school that made a lot of impact on me. The teachers were great and I was in the downtown campus, so I got really good people from the financial district that really were, you know, they had really thought-provoking ideas about finance and accounting and economics and everything. But then Loyola, यहाँ पे भी थोड़ा सा इशू था क्योंकि Loyola ने अपनी इवनिंग क्लासेस बंद कर दी अपने बिजनेस प्रोग्राम में. एंड आई वाज अ वर्किंग स्टूडेंट फुल टाइम, मैं जॉब करती थी दिन के अंदर, तो मैं उसमें ग्रेजुएट नहीं हो पाई Loyola से. सो आई ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम रॉबर्ट मॉरिस कॉलेज, जो मेरे ऑफिस के बिल्कुल नज़दीक था, एंड दे हैड द सेम प्रोग्राम, सो आई ट्रांसफर्ड माई क्रेडिट्स देयर, एंड आई ग्रेजुएटेड सुमा कम लाउडी फ्रॉम देयर विद अ 4.0 GPA. फिर उसके बाद मैंने वहाँ से अपना मास्टर्स किया, तो वो मैंने केलर ग्रेजुएट स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस से किया था. तो दैट्स वेयर आई ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम लास्ट. और अभी मेरा थोड़ा सा है कि लाइक आई वांट टू डू PhD और आई वांट टू डू समथिंग डिफरेंट, लेकिन अभी मैंने कुछ डिसाइड नहीं किया है बिकॉज थिंग्स आर प्रीटी बिजी एट वर्क सो फार. Yeah, generally it is difficult for a student to identify a particular interest or their skills at school level. Do you have any suggestions for students in this regard? Great question, Munir. The thing is that यानी कि it's a tough one at school level. School level में आप इतने mature होते नहीं हो कि आप डिसाइड कर सको कि आपको क्या करना है. A lot of it belongs to your surroundings and a lot of it the credit goes to your surroundings. उसमें ये होता है कि अगर जिस तरह आपकी जो आपके घर के अंदर जो माहौल होता है, if your parents are both doctors, obviously it's a hands down thing कि आप डॉक्टर ही बनेंगे. और तो इस तरह ये होता है कि लाइक आप अगर जिस तरह आपके सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, आप 12 सब्जेक्ट्स ले रहे हो, उसके अंदर आपका उर्दू है, इस्लामियात है, आपका इंग्लिश है, इंग्लिश लिट है, मैथ है, एड मैथ है, केमिस्ट्री, बायोलॉजी, इन ऑल ऑफ दो सब्जेक्ट्स. अब उसमें से चूज़ कैसे करेंगे, राइट? तो आप वो चीज़ चूज़ करो जिसमें आप रियली एक्सेल करो. what actually drives you, right? what gets you out of the bed in the morning and says, oh आज मुझे इस टीचर से ज़रूर मिलना है और मैं मिस नहीं कर सकती, आज मेरा सब्जेक्ट की क्लास है, or what not. Something really inspires you. Then you can feel कि ये चीज़ें हाँ मुझे इंस्पायर करती हैं, and that's what I am up for, right? तो आप उससे अपना थोड़ा सा इंक्लिनेशन ले सकते हैं. फिर उसके बाद आप फ्यूचर में आप कॉलेज में जाएंगे तो आपको पता ही चल जाता है कि what really drives you, what you really like and you know in this world. Plus if a profession inspires you, उसमें आप देखो कि आपको कौन सी डिग्री चाहिए, आपको कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स में एक्सेल करना है, and then focus on the subjects and figure out कि वो सब्जेक्ट्स मुझे अच्छे लगते भी हैं कि नहीं, कि जो मुझे डिग्री चाहिए या जो मुझे करना है लाइफ में, उसकी जो बेसिस हैं वो इन सब्जेक्ट से बनी है, राइट? तो मुझे अच्छे लगते हैं कि नहीं लगते. क्योंकि अगर आपको सब्जेक्ट्स अच्छे नहीं लगेंगे, यू कैन नॉट एक्सेल एट दैट. इट लुक्स ऑल गुड एंड फाइन फ्रॉम अ फार अवे डिस्टेंस, द ग्रास इज ऑलवेज ग्रीनर ऑन द अदर साइड. यू नो आपको कोई चीज़ बहुत ही यानी कि अच्छी लगती हो, बट व्हेन यू आर डूइंग इट इट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. You have to have a lot of grit in getting to that level कि आप इस पे excel करें और अच्छा करें उसके अंदर. Yes, I do remember Miss Talat Mariam. Thanks for asking. I hope she is here. I want to say assalamu alaikum to her if she's here. Iman Amin, you want to choose pre-medical. Is it easy? Nothing is easy, Iman. You have to put a lot of effort in everything you do. और अपना 100% देना होता है. और अगर आप बहुत पैशनेट हैं, obviously you give a lot more, right? I'm thinking about doing another session with a friend of mine who was a medical student here. She's a doctor now. So I'm trying to see if I can get her on, because a lot of parents want their kids to migrate only for engineering and medical, which is a misconception. Obviously you can excel at what you do also. I'm an accountant and a finance person, and I excelled at that, right? तो मैं यहाँ पे पहुँची हूँ एक उस वजह से कि मेरा पैशन था ये. तो एनीथिंग यू मेक अ पैशन ऑफ योर्स, यू विल एक्सेल एट इट. अस्सलाम वालेकुम आयशा, हाउ आर यू? आई सी यू हैव जॉइन्ड. शी इज ऑब्वियसली माई क्लासमेट फ्रॉम graduated from Dawood with me in the year 2000. Amir, thank you so much. Inshallah, I will certainly reach out to you. यार थोड़ा सा like last 2 weekends बहुत busy रहे हैं. I have your contact information this weekend, or even it doesn't have to be weekends. Yeah, just call me on Facebook live, or you know the Facebook phone, and I'll certainly try to answer your call. कोई मसला नहीं है. Just call anytime. What role a school plays in shaping the personality of a student? As I was saying कि inspirational जो भी चीज़ें होती हैं आपकी teachers, and there's some subjects obviously, and a lot of inspiration and support also comes from home. तो school तो काफ़ी important होता है, यानी कि it is definitely especially when we went to an all girls school, right? तो उसके अंदर ये था कि हमारी teachers भी बहुत predominantly female थी और बहुत strong females थी by the way. और यानी कि हमने तो उनसे learn किया, and we knew how to get what we wanted, because a lot of them were females, and females are I don't want to have a discriminatory comment here, but I'll leave it at that. Why Dawood? I don't know. I would have to ask my parents. I think they felt it was an all girls school, so I was there since pre-K, and there's, you know, I am not sure why Dawood, but I'm glad it was Dawood, and you know, not a big shot school came. I don't know if I would have been the excelling student out of there. I would have probably been an underdog, which nobody would have found out about. What do you think schools are working on holistic development of the child? Holistic as in religious, or holistic as in career development? कुरतलान थोड़ा सा इसको जो है ना क्या कहते हैं elaborate करो उसके ऊपर. holistic का क्या मतलब है तुम्हारा यहाँ पे? How come all girls school named Dawood? Why not Al Nisa or something? Al Nisa बहुत typical नहीं हो जाएगा. It's pretty cliche. Dawood यहाँ पे सब पूछते हैं. Dawood like it's like Saint David's. It's a kind of a saint's name, or I think it's because the person who owns it is Dawood, Sir Dawood, so that's why it's named Dawood Public School. So it's known from his group of companies. I don't know why it's not named Al Nisa. That's a good question for the admin, but I think Dawood has a name now, so why not keep it that way? It's a brand name now, right? Yes, I do remember Miss Nigat. Please, assalamualaikum, and say hi to her if you do see her tomorrow. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, Mariam. Some important message for the girl. You are no lesser than any guys you have in your life, or you're around you. You can do whatever a guy can do. And my husband usually says कि लड़कियां तो वैसे कहती हैं कि हम कदम से कदम मिला के चलेंगे, and then when the going gets tough they're like, oh ये लड़कियों का काम नहीं है. That is absolutely true. So when you do that, please stand up to it, don't back out. That's all I'll say. तो ये important message है मेरा girls के लिए कि once you have become that female, a go-getter, don't back down. Thank you so much, Wasim. I really appreciate it. What was my field? My field, good question. So मेरी field start हुई थी international business से, and I started with my degree in international business. फिर उसके बाद मैंने अपना जो है क्या कहते हैं international business से थोड़ा सा change किया, and I wanted to really do aeronautical engineering, जिसके लिए मैं यहाँ migrate किया था मैंने. ठीक है, my nana only let me go कि मैं engineer बनने जा रही हूँ. Otherwise मुझे पाकिस्तान में रह के पाकिस्तान को serve करना था और civil servant बनना था, अपना CSS exam दे के and all of that. तो मैंने जब माइग्रेट किया, जब मैंने अपना चेंज कर लिया ऑक्यूपेशन यहाँ पे कि मुझे इंजीनियर नहीं बनना, मुझे बिजनेस के अंदर ही करना है, देन माय ग्रैंडफादर डिडंट टॉक टू मी फॉर 2 years. He did not, and I was his favorite grandkid, because there was something that he didn't like for me to do. It's like, what do accountants do? तुम लोग तो सिर्फ साल में एक दफा टैक्सेस करते हो, basically was his misconception. And I was like, no. So once I got my first accounting job, I'm in Pakistan गई, and then he talked to me about what I do. And I said, look, मैं financials करती हूँ इस company के, और उनके financials पे मेरा sign off होता है, and they don't go public because our company is public. It's SEC, we have to do SEC filings. We have to be Sarbanes-Oxley compliant, और बहुत सारे regulations होते हैं. And my job is pretty important as an accountant, like a finance person. I read the story behind the numbers. And he said, okay, how much do you make? And I told him how much I made, and he was like, that's pretty good, like in Urdu he was like, ये तो कोई बुरी इनकम नहीं है, तो तुम तो बिल्कुल सही हो वहाँ पे. मैंने कहा जी मैं बिल्कुल सही हूँ और कोई मसला नहीं है, और सिर्फ डॉक्टर्स ही नहीं इतनी इनकम बनाते हैं माशाल्लाह से. if you excel at what you do, you can do good things, and you don't have to become a doctor and engineer to excel. If you feel like आप एक इंस्पायरिंग एजुकेशनलिस्ट बनना चाहते हैं, आप फेसबुक ब्लॉगर बनना चाहते हैं, आजकल तो कोई लिमिट नहीं है किसी चीज़ की. यू कैन डू स्टफ फ्रॉम योर होम. यू डोंट इवन हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ योर होम to become a Facebook blogger, to become a freelance writer, to become whatever you inspires you. तो मेरी फील्ड तो थी यानी कि अकाउंटिंग, मेरी बैकग्राउंड थी इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस, और मैंने अपनी जो कंपनी से स्टार्ट किया वो फ्रेट फॉरवर्डिंग एंड लॉजिस्टिक्स की कंपनी थी, द वंस दैट डू इम्पोर्ट एंड फॉरवर्डिंग. पाकिस्तान में उसको कहते हैं क्लियरिंग एंड फॉरवर्डिंग एजेंसीज, एंड आई वाज द फाइनेंस मैनेजर फॉर पब्लिकली ट्रेडेड large organization in Chicago. So मेरी field start हुई import exports, and that really inspired me because I used to love traveling, I loved numbers, and the only thing that combined it was a freight forwarding background and accounting competency, जिसके अंदर मैं finance manager थी company की. तो मेरी field it became accounting basically, and obviously solving real life issues for people within the company, because accounting के अंदर बहुत सारी चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. HR is a stepchild we always have. फाइनेंस के अंदर जो है आपकी अकाउंटिंग एज एन क्रंचिंग नंबर्स, अकाउंट्स रिसीवेबल, अकाउंट्स पेबल भी आ जाता है, एंड देन यू हैव योर फाइनेंशियल्स दैट यू हैव टू रीड ऑल्सो. तो मेरी फील्ड काफ़ी डिवर्सिफाई हो गई, और इट बिकेम import, exports, obviously customs की competency background, and then accounting and finance is obviously what I was a CFO of, Chief Financial Officer of. Hello, Ramzan. Khwaja Rehan Ahmed, what is the most important thing to become successful in professional life? It's the grit, it's what you put in. I believe ke, like as I was saying, ke, give whatever you do a 200%, not 100%, and that's very important. What makes DPS stand out from the rest? हम लोग क्या कहते हैं ना, ईस्ट और वेस्ट, DPS is the best. So I think the one thing that really made DPS stand out from the rest was it was an all-girls school, and we were no less than any other school or institution out there in Pakistan, in Karachi. So I think that's in itself is an accomplishment, right? I do remember Mrs. Baik, and I think I remember her from the day I started in that school. So she was the principal when I started with DPS, so I do certainly remember her. किस साल में पास आउट किया था? 2000 ईयर में पास आउट किया था साइमा, और यानी कि उस साल के अंदर I think we were a class of about 11 students in O levels, and I think there were still 40 students in metric class. So in total, I had a turnout of about 52 people that graduated that year, I think. Obviously, your school choice for everybody joining now is definitely important. So, सब ये पूछेंगे why DPS? Obviously, my parents enrolled me there, but I never regretted that. I always was fond of the names that were in our culture, such as St. Patrick's. लोग अब इस स्कूल जा रहे हैं, वो स्कूल जा रहे हैं. हमारे स्कूल से निकल के लोगों को एडमिशन और स्कूलों में मिल जाते थे आराम से, एंड दे यूज्ड टू गो अवे, एंड आई वाज लाइक ये क्या बात है कि लाइक यहाँ से सब कुछ आप ले रहे हो और बैकग्राउंड यहाँ का है, एंड देन यूर गोना एक्सेल एंड ग्रेजुएट आउट ऑफ अनदर स्कूल. तो आई डोंट नो, इट जस्ट सीम्ड डिसीविंग. लेकिन आई स्टक विद Dawood Public, and I really cherished my teachers and my time there. I mean, I have certificates that I have that have debate competencies in there. I was a great athlete, runner, and I was a good throw ball player. So I excelled at a lot of different extracurricular activities, and nobody really suppressed me, even if I was a female student. So my teachers ही बहुत ज़्यादा encouraging थी. Is it really necessary to graduate? How much do you owe to your education system? Great question, Munir. Nowadays आप देखते हो कि इतने ढेर सारे जो लोग बन के निकल गए हैं और डिफरेंट अपनी कंपनीज ओन करते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एम्पायर्स, देयर नॉट इवन कॉलेज ग्रेजुएट्स, और लेकिन उनके अंदर एक चीज़ तो है, उनके पास स्कूलिंग ज़रूर है. ठीक है, तो आई थिंक स्कूलिंग डज शेप यू इनटू हु यू आर, and basic schooling is necessary. A lot of education you can get out nowadays from like online institutes and different things. Lekin I think it really, the basic education certainly shapes you. So it is very important for you to at least go through the graduation and find out what you really would like to do. If you excel at computers and you're really good at IT, most definitely try your hand at it. And if you've developed an app by the time you're 16 and you haven't graduated, then I would say, I don't know, go to a school which actually excels at something of that sort, right? Go to GIK or go to something that really has excelled in that arena. Or try your hand out in an international institution like MIT or something, because they will actually groom you into that, whatever you want to be. Main inspiration, Khadija, I did answer that question in pretty much detail. लेकिन inspiration काफ़ी home घर से भी आई, teachers से भी आई. A lot of the subjects that were taught at DPS, there were about 12 subjects, and they were all different subjects. तो उसके अंदर ये था कि इंस्पायर आपको कुछ टीचर्स करती हैं, अगर टीचर्स अच्छी हैं और सब्जेक्ट की, एंड दे कीप यू एंगेज्ड, स्टूडेंट एंगेज्ड, आई थिंक दैट इंस्पायर्स यू एंड दैट गेट्स यू गोइंग इन दैट सब्जेक्ट. तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें खदीजा, बट आई थिंक यू शुड रिप्ले इट. आई हैड अ वेरी डिटेल्ड आंसर फॉर दैट क्वेश्चन. यू आर क्वाइट वेलकम अरीबा, एनी टाइम. Do you remember Nahid? Is that Mrs. Nahid for the who was the Urdu teacher? I'm not sure, Iman. थोड़ा सा elaborate करो उस पे. I'm not a CA. I'm not a chartered accountant. I'm not a CPA either. What had happened is, I was telling you everybody about my grandfather, who actually didn't talk to me for 2 years because I wasn't becoming an aerospace or an aeronautical engineer. When I went back to Pakistan, he told me, look, if you're going to do something, if you're going to do accounting, you have to become a CPA, you have to get a certification. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I went back and I enrolled in the CPA course, and I said, okay, fine, I'm going to go through with my exam. I switched jobs at the same time. I went from WLG Inc. to SBS Worldwide, and I interviewed and everything, and I got hired as the US finance manager at that time. और मेरा exam था next day. When I started, I joined the first day, and मेरा exam था first CPA का next day. तो उस वक्त क्या हुआ कि जिस दिन मैंने ज्वाइन किया, जब ज्वाइन करने के बाद my company tells me that there was embezzlement in our UK office, और हमारे auditors आ रहे हैं and you have to partake in this major audit or you're going to spearhead the US one. And I was like, मेरा exam है by the way कल CPA का, and they didn't care. And they said, look, we're going to pay for your exam, don't worry, you know, go ahead and cancel it for tomorrow and just give it next time. I'm hoping next time आया नहीं कभी भी. So I was ready for my 4-part CPA examinations and I never went through with it. And alhamdulillah उसके बाद मुझे कभी feeling भी नहीं हुई कि मुझे I need it. But this is something I really need to do to make my grandfather happy in Jannat. And hopefully inshallah that's where he is. And you know, that's something I really want to do in life. तो जैसे ही मुझे वक्त मिलेगा, I will certainly come back to it and get my CPA accomplished. One company and one app under my name. What's next? I don't know. I think it's a lot of companies under my name. As a consultant, I help a lot of companies during my day's time. लेकिन जो app है, yes, there's another app coming, inshallah, and it's a brilliant, I think it's a brilliant idea because I thought of it, right? But it's a brilliant idea, or I can't stop laughing and smiling. It's such a great idea. No, I'm just joking. But lekin it's a definitely decent idea, and it could be revolutionary for the world and the way they look at the medical field. So it's related to medical field, even though I'm not a medical person or have nothing to do with chemistry. But you can think things, right? And when you can think things, you can make them happen. So that's what I believe in. And inshallah, that's something that I would need to devote my time to in the next year, along with doing a lot of, you know, things for people and kids in Pakistan. That's 2017 for me. That's my agenda. Knock on wood, inshallah, I'll have it done. Where did I pursue my higher education from? Reba, a lot of places. I came here and I joined McCormick College. Then I did about 2 semesters at IIT for aerospace engineering. And I thought, okay, this is something that I really like, but I must say, you know, chemistry really put me off. I really didn't feel it when I was doing chemistry. And I have a lot of people skills. I'll talk nonstop like I am doing right now. No, I'm just joking. I don't talk nonstop otherwise in my professional career, but I could talk nonstop, and I could, you know, sell. I'm really good at selling things. You know, I could probably sell a bag of dirt, as I was saying in one of my previous videos, to somebody who really needs it. So I find कि लोगों को ज़रूरत किस चीज़ की है, right? And I try to excel at that too. I'm not a boring accountant. I don't crunch numbers all day. I fix problems. I fix real life problems with real life solutions. One of the things that I have now is the mobile app iCard, and it is fixing a real life problem that I had, which is, you know, it was business cards, and people were still pushing paper business cards, and I was like, ye kya hai? Hum is day and age mein rehte hain, and we're still pushing paper, and I still can't connect with people because I was sitting in an airplane. I didn't have somebody's business card on me, and I said, ये तो कोई बात नहीं है कि आपका business card नहीं है तो आप connect ही नहीं कर सकते उस बंदे से या उस बंदी से. और LinkedIn पे भी वो लोग नहीं थे जिनकी information चाहिए थी. So I said, I need to figure something out. If I'm the only one, let's figure this out first. So I looked up all the apps that serve that purpose. I got an attorney involved, and now it's patent pending, and it's i-card.me, and that's what it does. It's a virtual business card app. It scans the other person's QR code from their mobile application, and then you get connected automatically. You can log in from anywhere. And in the world, like you can log in from a computer, a smartphone. Even if your phone gets snatched or lost, you can still log in and have access to your contacts. Plus, if somebody moves jobs, their contact information is still updated. So that's kind of a robust app I really needed in my life, and I thought it does solve a real life problem. So ये सारी चीजें हैं कि like this is like if you think about it, that's the basis of my existence. I like solving problems. Let's see, what questions do we have? Students are usually very confused while choosing a better career, and whenever you ask for guidance to HR people, they recommend HR. Yes, absolutely. Marketing would say marketing, and let me see more. What else do we have here? Finance, if yes, why? यार finance में तुम्हें मोहम्मद खान नहीं कहूँगी कि finance में ही जाओ क्योंकि मैं finance manager हूँ. As I was saying, कि do what you feel is in you, right? कि आपको किस चीज़ से motivation होती है? What wakes you up in the morning? What gets you to school? Is it a teacher? Is it a profession that teacher pursues? Is it something that has inspired you? Somebody in your life does inspire you. Mine was traveling, right? You know, I was very infatuated with pilots, and I was like, मुझे aeronautical या aerospace engineering करनी है. I love airplanes. I love traveling, and that's how I can travel the world. And guess what? I got into a freight forwarding industry, and I became an accountant. I'm like, nothing stops you from traveling, yaar. Because if you become and excel at something, and you become a big shot, there's nobody that can stop you. You will have the money and the means to actually travel around the world. तो आप देखो आपको जिंदगी में चाहिए क्या? What drives you really? And then to get to it, figure out कि कौन सा ऐसी चीज़ है जो आपको उस पर excel करेगी. Like अगर आपको कोई चीज़ पसंद है, like you look like an occupation, find out the basis of that occupation and excel at that. That is what I'm going to tell you, because to like a subject and to be in that occupation is two different things. अगर मैं कहती हूँ कि finance manager बन जाओ, I will never tell you to become a finance manager, by the way. That's something that's different, and I see a lot of kids being put into engineering schools or medical fields because their parents want them to be. यहाँ पे schools भरे में desi kids से, which is Indian and Pakistani kids and Bangladeshi kids that come here just to become either a doctor or an engineer. Please demolish that stereotype. IT की industry बहुत छाई हुई है, and there's a lot of potential in the future in that. Develop something, solve a problem, and Pakistan में app development की काफ़ी वो है, mobile and web development काफ़ी extreme पे पहुंची हुई है. We have a whole port, Gwadar port. Think about वहाँ पे कौन सी jobs होंगी, वहाँ पे freight forwarding कितनी बड़ी field है जो open up होगी. Do those things जो तुम्हें लगता है कि next few years में जो है ना बहुत hot होंगी, and see कहाँ पे आप fit in होंगे. Don't become like an import-export agent if you don't feel like one. Become an engineer in that port. Do something else that would, that has scope. So आपको एक चीज़ पे, I don't know, you could become a finance manager for the port too. I mean, seriously, you could do a lot more. तो मैं नहीं कहूँगी तुम्हें finance manager बनने के लिए if you really don't feel like one, if you don't feel like becoming one. Skills that you think people need to develop in students in high school or school level. Okay, great question, Hafsa. The thing is that students के अंदर जो skills develop होने की बात कही आपने, like one of the things जो मेरे अंदर थी कि I was in a lot of extracurricular activities. Sometimes I didn't see my teachers or my class for days, and that's a really bad thing I'm saying here. But the reason was I was in a debate competition. I was in all the debate competitions in Urdu and English. I was in my sprinting races, and the greenhouse, anything the greenhouse was lacking in उसमें जो है ना जो भी races थी, we had baton races, we had the ones with the hurdles, there was throw ball, there was badminton. I was in every competition. I don't know, that was something in me. A lot of kids aren't. They like to read books while, in the PT time, in the physical training time. I think what really matters is the teachers that encourage you. और सब बच्चों को हर चीज़ में participate करना चाहिए to find out what is their niche, what really drives them, what do they like to do. So I think जो skills होते हैं वो वहीं से develop होते हैं. इतनी different diversification से आपके अंदर जो आपके अंदर पहले से आ रही होती है, and that is your basis. जो school होता है वो आपका बिल्कुल base बनाता है. हमारी जो basis थी, sometimes people even ask me here in the US कि oh, you must have learned English here, you must have been born here or something. I said no, I graduated And then I migrated to the US. And I guess what? I learned English in Pakistan because they teach English over there. And we have two systems. We have the matriculate system and we have the O-level system. I was fortunate enough to go through the O-level system, but the matriculate system too, a lot of people have great English speaking skills. And another thing, we were under the British rule for a long time, like India was. So Pakistan was under the same thing, and we had a very developed railway system, and obviously we have a lot of things that are just in English in Pakistan, and a lot of words, even like there's no substitute for the word gutter. So they don't know. Nobody knows around the world, and you have to really educate the people overseas कि आप कहाँ से आ रहे हो, आपका background क्या है. तो जो skills की बात है और जो यानी कि यहाँ पे जो आ जाती है वो इसमें ये भी है कि like आपको ना कि यहाँ पे अगर आप if you're migrating especially, you have to obviously tell the people and tell them where you're coming from and educate them about your background also. So जो skills develop होते हैं, one of the skills that I really would say is the English language. And we used to get fined. There was a jar, I think Mrs. Baloch had a jar going on in the senior section where if she heard a word of Urdu, she would fine you. And I give people that example here and they're like shocked. Pakistan jaisi country ke andar, you were taught and you were encouraged to speak in English all the time, which is not really something I would say it's something to be proud of, but still it's something that educates people overseas ke bhai hum log koi backward country nahi hai. What you see on TV is not what we are. And there's a lot more to us. Most of the schools in Pakistan train students to become a very good employee, and they do not work on entrepreneurial side of the person. How is it in the US? Side of a student, hang on one second. Does DPS try to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are so they are catered to it properly? Fawker Hasnan, great question. I did answer it a little bit. The thing is that with DPS, it's an all-girls school, and they never discouraged me from doing what I like to do. So they didn't, they encouraged me obviously in everything I wanted to do, even as a girl, even in any competition I wanted to go to, the teachers had time for me. If I wanted to go and do an inter-school debate at Foundation Public, if I wanted to go and do an interfaith or international or even anything I want to do at, let's say Habib Public had a lot of competitions. Sometimes I look at my certificates and I'm like, मेरे पास Habib Public के certificate क्यों? मेरे पास Foundation Public के certificate क्यों? The reason I have that is nobody really suppressed me. Anytime I wanted to be part of a debate or a competition, my teachers really encouraged me and they said, okay, we'll take you there. My teachers always said, yes, we'll take a group of students there. Throwball competition हो रहा है, हम इस स्कूल से compete करेंगे, हम इस स्कूल से compete करेंगे. तो DPS में ये बात बहुत अच्छी थी कि एडमिन ने कभी टीचर्स को सप्रेस नहीं किया. They always had the monetary support to back these sort of competitions up, and they always actually encourage their teachers to go in these competitions to get their name out. And inshallah, I hope that's the same thing. I actually see it even more now. There was just recently, there was somebody with a drone at DPS showing people and kids what is a drone about. And drones are the next big thing nowadays. Every kid has it in the US. Now exposing students to extracurricular things such as that gets them thinking. Gets them thinking about technology, what the world is coming up to, not just your regular chemistry or biology or physics, courses and classes, but exposing kids to this. They might be inquisitive about what makes this thing go up. What is it about aerodynamics that's so special? Things of that nature. And absolutely, I mean, there was a Lego thing I was looking at. I mean, that's really far-fetched in our country. कि आप नर्सरी के स्टूडेंट्स को केजी के एंड फर्स्ट ग्रेड एंड सेकंड ग्रेड के स्टूडेंट्स को एक्सपोज करो लेगो बिल्डिंग में. I mean, that's a lot of, I would say you can see where the school is going with that, right? So entrepreneurial side, yes, I would say the entrepreneurial side, I was actually telling somebody recently, hey, मेरी first sale, मेरी junk sales होती थी DPS के अंदर. Students were encouraged at lunchtime to actually get all the junk and things they didn't need at home to bring it and actually sell it in their classrooms. So I think my first sale वहाँ से हुई थी, and I used to make really good money in selling chart because my aunt was a really good, she had a really good hand at making good food. So I used to bring chart and sell that. And the other thing was all the stuff that I didn't need at home, I would bring, and I would had great sales in those things. So I think mera entrepreneurial skill, I have to give it to DPS. Seriously, I do, because that was my first exposure to selling, and there was a feeling of satisfaction कि यार मैंने अपनी जंग जो मुझे नहीं चाहिए थी चीज़ें वो मैंने सेल कर दिया at a profit. तो जो है ये एक चीज़ थी जो DPS ने certainly मुझे दी है. And I'm glad you asked that question. Brought great memories. What is my inspiration to create this app? Which one, the old one or the new one that's coming up? Well, old one iCard, i-card.me है उसका. And inspiration तो ये थी यार कि it's a solution to a real life problem. उसके अंदर ये था कि business cards हम लोग paper के push करते हैं, like we give it to somebody and nobody ever reads them. Actually they read it and they might put it on a pile of business cards जो मेरे पास भी हैं desk के ऊपर. There's a pile of business cards, I never go through them and I never look through them and I never venture through it because sometimes I file it with somebody's profession, sometimes I file it with somebody's last name, sometimes the first name I really don't pay attention to it. I figure कि मैं उनको कहीं ढूंढ ही लूँगी, LinkedIn पे, email में, Google कर लूँगी, whatever. लेकिन होता ये कि कभी कोई बंदा होता है या बंदी होती है जो कहीं मिलती ही नहीं है आपको. तो you need to have a virtual app. और उसके अंदर ये था कि मैंने कहा कि it needs to be an easy sign up. आप sign up करें अपना first name, last name, phone number, email address डाल के, and once you're done, it makes a business card out of it. और उसके अंदर QR कोड होता है नीचे, you click on that. जो दूसरा बंदा होता है, बंदी होती है, आप उसको कहेंगे इसको scan करें, and then when they scan it, you guys are connected for life. You both have to have the app. It's available for free on iOS and Android, and it does solve a real life problem, which is pushing paper business cards. Plus you can log in from anywhere in the world, so I don't have to be stuck to my phone. I could be in front of a computer. I could have lost my phone. I still will be connected with the people that matter. So Mohammed Hassan, that's what really inspired me. Meher, how was your school life? Can you share any memories with us? My school life was great, alhamdulillah, mashallah. The teachers are one part of it, but my the students that shaped it, they were 52 students in my batch, and all of them played a really, really good part in shaping who I am today. Mashallah, yani ke all 11 of them really pushed me around. A couple of them, they know who they are, stole my lunches, my chips. So, I used to chase them quite a bit. And I still am asking them to ship me some kebabs from UK, from Kebabish. And she's working on it. Thanks, Fatma. I am still waiting for kebabs. There's a lot of things, obviously, that, I would have to give to the people around me. And one of them is most definitely, everybody was so different in my class. Everybody was so different. And they used to tease each other. We used to push each other quite a bit to do things, and a lot of things came from their scrutiny. Like seriously, they were sarcasm was, they were if I was saying sarcastic, they were the epitome of sarcastic. So that really pushed me to do a lot of things. And anytime they would say no, I would say yes, and anytime they would say yes, I would say no. तो ये चीज़ आप में आ जाती है, आपके जो चीज़ें होती हैं nearby, and that's one of the things that really shaped me was the people I was around. And I am blessed. I was blessed, and I lived a great childhood with my friends at school and at home. Mashallah. Miss Talat, I see that you said hi. Assalamu alaikum. Hi. Thank you so much for joining. It's an honor to be here with you today again. What should the main goal of the students at this level? What should they strive for? Elsa, I'll answer that question one more time. Give me 1 second. Hey Amna, what are the necessary traits to become a successful entrepreneur? Ye DPS ne ask kiya. I would say have those junk sales quite often to develop that in the students. And most definitely, you certainly have to do that. Isme ek cheez thi कि students में एक तो आप अपनी junk sale करें, right? And you're doing it for a profit for things you don't need. एक entrepreneurial skills में आगे फिर आप अपनी चीज़ें market कैसे करते हो, अपनी चीज़ें display कैसे करते हैं. I think it was a great exposure for students. So I would encourage DPS to do those quite a bit. Necessary traits to become a successful entrepreneur. I think entrepreneur एक ऐसा बंदा या बंदी होते हैं, they don't after a certain point, when they're very content, it's not about money. It is not. It is about personal satisfaction. And satisfaction मेरी तो आती है like from solving world problems and solving real life problems basically. तो जो चीज़ें मुझे इंस्पायर करती हैं वो ये हैं. अब and helping others really gives me the gratification that I need. Because after a while, money gets boring, really. It does. It totally does. आपके पास जब सब कुछ हो, आप, alhamdulillah, I live in a modest, in my means, and very modestly. लेकिन मैं कहती हूँ कि कितना is enough. You can strive for this and that, and you can see things that people have, and really, that's not my inspiration. What gets me going is really solving people's problems and putting a smile on their faces is what really inspires me. तो सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर वही हो सकता है जो अपनी इस चीज़ पे एक्सेल करे और whatever drives them. What drives me is putting a smile on people's faces and getting them to a certain level where I can actually pay it forward, say it to somebody else and give it back to the community. And I'm not saying it because it's very cliche of me saying that, लेकिन ऐसा ही है कुछ क्योंकि every day when I go to work, accounting and solving people's problems is the biggest thing that gets me going in. And if somebody is in trouble and they're stuck at a problem that they're having at their freight forwarding company, I know that person is having a problem. It's month end. I've been on calls with my customers at midnight in the US, US local customers, just because I know I need to solve their problem, right? I need to help them out of a situation. So it's about caring for me. So you have to find out what really motivates you, what drives you, what gets you out of that bed in the morning. What gets you going on a Monday? It's Monday morning for me, and it's like 10:26 a.m. And it's I'm doing this because this is what is I strive for, and this is what encourages me to move on and do more. Thank you so much, Ms. Talat. I'm so happy you're joining from your son's account. Inshallah, I will add you, and I really appreciate you joining us. आपने जो हम लोगों को सब कुछ दिया है, we still remember you with fond memories. Even Miss Nigat, we were just talking about it. We have a group which is called DPS Y2K, which is year 2000 alumni, and we keep connected. And I will inshallah, pass that out. Okay, you're still there, and people should come and actually meet you over there too. Next time I'm in Karachi, inshallah, I will come and see you guys. I didn't know कि आप लोग वहाँ पे हैं. अभी मैं आई थी पाकिस्तान जुलाई के अंदर, तो I didn't come to the school, but inshallah next time I am, I will in town, I will certainly visit. Which subject in the future will be good and helpful according to your opinion? Arisha, it's a great question. I think IT is one of the hottest fields here. Doctors कहीं नहीं जाने वाले, तो डॉक्टरी भी सही है. Engineering के अंदर आप IT की engineering भी देख लो. और प्रोग्रामिंग के अंदर बहुत सारी चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. देयर सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स, देयर हार्डवेयर इंजीनियर्स. तो सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर आप कोई भी चीज़ डेवलप कर सकते हो. एंड गर्ल्स रियली नीड टू गेट इनटू कोडिंग. आई थिंक दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स आई वांटेड टू से हियर इज Dawood Public School needs to get into software engineering kind of inspired subjects जिसके अंदर students को coding सिखाई जाए, especially girls को, because there's not a lot of girls that are into coding and programming, and they should be, because that's something that's lacking. It's a very diverse area, and I think women are lacking into that. Guys तो आ गए as a necessity, as a need in the US, लेकिन girls इसमें lack कर रही हैं काफ़ी. And I think I'll tell you a story, a short story. In my company, we have IT people and developers who are guys, and this is nothing against guys, लेकिन guys में इतना discipline नहीं होता जितना girls के अंदर होता है. And they actually cover all corners. Girls are very detail oriented. और अगर वो कोडिंग करेंगे उसमें less programming errors होंगे, and I think they'll make great coders, they'll make great software engineers, and girls don't know that, but I do know that, and that's something I've been encouraging my sister to do, and this is a hot field for girls. I think girls really should try their hand at it, and I think they will excel beyond imagination. They just have to try it. They will excel beyond imagination. I truly believe in that. I do. At this level, what a student should actually strive for? O levels, Musfira, a great question. I think at that level, I think O levels is great, and I've heard a lot of horror stories with tuitions and things, and there's a hike in people, obviously that actually have to send their kids to different tuitions. O levels एक standard बन गया है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, unfortunately, and I guess it is O levels that will get you to places because it's a credible GCSE examination worldwide. अगर आपको migrate करना है then definitely O levels. Even matriculate system के बाद आप migrate कर सकते हो, but you do have some hurdles if you go through the matriculate system, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान का ये कि आप एक GCSE से निकल रहे हैं and then you're going through the Pakistani examination system, तो उसके अंदर आप जो ऑनर्ड होगा वो ऑब्वियसली GCSE होगा वर्ल्ड वाइड. तो उसके अंदर ये है कि आपको अगर O levels करना है एंड यू वांट टू माइग्रेट दैट, देन O levels वुड बी द वे टू गो इंशाल्लाह. During studies, school is introducing many sports and other opportunities. Are they good to avail? Absolutely, Arisha. I've been saying this throughout my conversation. Yani ke the biggest thing is extracurricular activities that actually shape you. Classes में तो सब जाते हैं और कुछ पे attention करते हैं, कुछ नहीं करते हैं. But you know, kids get out of those classes to do something special, and one of them is the extracurricular activities. तो जो है ना क्या कहते हैं ये सारी चीजें. And I'm getting some pointers from my help in the office, and they're, you know, telling me what's going on, and they're giving me some feedback on things here. And one of the things, you know, that obviously is that agar aapki background strong ho, which is where I graduated from, which is DPS, I had my GCSE O levels exams in my pocket, so I went and applied for different schools and I got accepted. And it's not always about the school, but this time it was all about the school and my schooling, because they actually groomed me to this level where I could go and confidently walk into the doors of a school and say, here's what I have to offer. And they accepted me. All the schools I applied to, alhamdulillah, accepted me. Even the big league schools, you know, accepted me. I didn't go to them, that's different. But most definitely, I mean, schooling has a lot to do with it. How can we will be your part? Practically, Arisha. Connect with me on Facebook. Like my page. It's the Amna Shah. It's TheAmnashah. Like the page. Send me a message. Tell me what would you like to help with, and certainly we can connect. I mean, I answer all my messages myself, you know, so most definitely I will certainly connect with you and see what you can offer. My favorite subject, Miss Talat बैठी हुई है यहाँ पे तो मैं कहती हूँ कि biology. लेकिन मेरा favorite subject English literature था, and मेरी speeches जो है ना काफ़ी मशहूर है. मेरी friend में जो मेरा आज तक मजाक उड़ाती हैं शेक्सपियर का The Quality of Mercy, and जो हम लोग सुबह में assembly के अंदर जो speeches देते थे, and we had to have excerpts from different stories and literature books and stuff. So I think English lit was my favorite subject, but Ad math was a really good one because I really love numbers, and I like to crunch numbers. And if I was stuck, that wasn't a problem. I remember कि मेरे O levels exam से पहले मैं problem solve करती हुई सोई, and then I woke up with a solution, so I was solving it in my head when I was sleeping, and that was the bizarrest thing, but I still remember that. So numbers made sense to me. तो ये सारी चीजें हैं like जो certainly helped me, and that was my favorite subject. Those two, English lit and I would say biology, actually was a good subject that I really liked, and Ms. Talat can tell you more about it, okay, if I excelled at it or not. And the other one is ad maths. Sadia Nadeem, thank you so much, Sadia. I really appreciate it. I'll read all the comments in detail and I'll see if I can answer them if I've missed you guys, or if I missed any comments or questions from you guys. How can we expand and strengthen our alumni network? Great question, Nazish. I think there should be another page that should be made, which is called DPS Alumni, and people should get added to it. I think DPS even itself as a page, उसमें बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो मैं इनको जानती हूँ, जो alumni में से, and I've added them to my Facebook. So I think DPS is doing a great job staying in touch with the times and what's required. So alumni network में I think एक जो होती हैं यहाँ पे USA के अंदर काफ़ी ऐसा होता है कि reunions होती हैं. They should have a 2000 senior reunion. तो उसमें 52 students थे जो आ सकें स्कूल के अंदर. Maybe have a couple of year reunions together. तो अगर 100 लोग होंगे तो उसमें 25-30 तो show up करेंगे. And if their teachers are still alive, they can actually thank their teachers and give back to them if they wanted to. Great question there. I think that's a great thing that you know, obviously any school can do, not just DPS. What do I miss about DPS? Those sunny afternoons and sitting under the shade of the trees and talking to friends and obviously doing. And हमारे पास तो यार फोन भी नहीं होते थे. हम लोग तो like कह सकते हो कि इतने boring students रहे होंगे, लेकिन नहीं, ऐसा नहीं था. We used to play and we used to hang out. We had so many stories and things to do. और मैं समझती हूँ कि हमारे पास फ़ोन नहीं होंगे तो हम करते क्या उस वक्त. हम तो बोर्ड बैठे रहते और कुछ भी नहीं करते. लेकिन उस वक्त इतनी चीज़ें होती थी करने के लिए कि आई कैंट इमेजिन कि हम लोग वाकई टाइम पास कैसे करते थे. लेकिन वी हैड सो मेनी डिफरेंट थिंग्स. हम लोग अपने आप को बहुत बिजी रखते थे. एंड देयर वाज एन DPS के अंदर एक बैक जगह थी जो was supposed to be you know, it was taboo territory. You couldn't go there. हम लोग वहाँ पे भी जाके बैठ जाते थे. We just needed some quiet space where we could talk as kids. And you know, we used to talk about so many different things. It didn't matter. And something was a hot topic and we were just passionate about something one day. कभी कोई movie आ रही है, कभी कोई गाना आ गया तो उसको अपना वो बना लिया. Like English, you know, I remember कि Cher का गाना आया था एक दफ़ा जो है, there was a movie that Madonna did in Austria. I can't remember the name of it. उसका था something to do with Argentina. I can't remember. तो कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहता था. And then we used to be passionate about it and we used to like we took everything apart and put it back together. कि ये गाना बना कैसे, इसके अंदर क्या चीज़ें गई होंगी background में, this person is going to do what in the future. And there was so much to do really to get to the bottom of different things. We were very curious kids. What is your favorite subject and why? I think I've answered that a few times. School choice is very important, obviously, yes. How can one get inspiration? Do you know I am Miss Sadia Jamil? Thank you so much, Miss Sadia, for joining. I can't remember you. I will certainly check out your Facebook page and maybe that will bring back memories. Inspiration, तो आपकी यानी कि subject से भी आती है, teachers भी आपको inspire करते हैं. And then there's obviously at home, your parents, you know, your siblings, even older siblings. I didn't have an older sibling. I was the eldest in the family and I was a daughter. And I was probably, hopefully, the inspiration for the younger ones. Lekin I had uncles and aunts. They were from really diversified fields, from engineering to medical to teaching, and it was all over the place. So, मेरी inspiration तो बहुत सारी चीजें रही हैं, but school has a big part in it, and DPS certainly played their part in my education in my early development. And if that's strong, I think you can do a lot of things in the future. आपकी basic जो development है ना, वो बहुत क्या कहते हैं, strong होनी चाहिए, and DPS gave that to me. What do you think is the best thing about DPS? What's the best thing about DPS was its teachers. They have a great campus. One of the things is आप आजकल schools देखते हैं पाकिस्तान में, they're charging you the same fees but they're in a home. और छोटे से घर हैं, उनके अंदर स्कूल बने हुए हैं, और आई डोंट नो कैसे बच्चे सर्वाइव करते होंगे. हमें तो बड़ी स्पेस चाहिए थी भाई, हम बहुत भागते दौड़ते थे. हम लोग एक ग्राउंड से दूसरे ग्राउंड में होते थे. एक ग्राउंड में we used to have stand, we had to have the play area, and दूसरे ग्राउंड में हमारी सारी PT होती थी. There was a, I think there were it was a marked kind of a ज़मीन होती थी, उसके ऊपर आप रेस कर सकते थे. And we used to have assemblies there. तो हमें तो बहुत स्पेस चाहिए थी. I don't know आजकल students कैसे एक घर के एरिया में schooling कर लेते हैं, and I'm really surprised. I'm so sorry, but it is what's become a norm in Pakistan, unfortunately, in Karachi. So I think one of the things that DPS gave me was great teachers and everything, and one of the things I do miss about it is the area and the running around, and we used to be called the gallant horses. Because अगर आप late हो जाओ तो सुबह को आपको भागना पड़ता था उन्हीं grounds के अंदर. And sometimes I used to curse those grounds, but now I look back and I'm like, that really shaped us with our athletics. Yes, certainly I do miss DPS and I miss the grounds and I miss the teachers and I miss everything about the school. But obviously you grow up and then you have other things that you have to do. You can't stay at one place. जब बच्चे होते हैं आपको बड़ा होना होता है जल्दी, and जब बच्चे होते हैं बड़े हो जाते हैं, then I'm like, okay, कितनी carefree life थी उन सालों में. We could have done so much more, but I don't feel कि मैं कुछ और कर सकती थी. I did the best and I'm so blessed कि मैंने जो भी चाहा अपनी school life में वो मैंने किया और कर सकी. Tell me a name of a good university for software engineering. Sanobar, US में या पाकिस्तान में? पाकिस्तान में तो बहुत सारी हैं. US के अंदर MIT is really great. I think they even have free courses online. MIT has a lot of free courses. and you can join from home. Even if you're a student at school, you can join those free courses. आप उसमें हिस्सा ले सकते हैं. This is a great thing that somebody asked right now, Sanober. I think everybody should partake in this. So girls, beware. MIT offers free courses. It's for software engineering and IT development. And if you pay a small fee, they'll even give you a certificate. And this is MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is a brand name for IT. You know, it's like Stanford, MIT, sabhi is ek hi credible, ek hi level pe aate. So beware and go on their website, and certainly go on there and join those. Maybe you could do it at night and get a certificate out of it. I think that's better than tuitions you go to. Is admin necessary for software engineering? Possibly, but I don't know if it is. Mathematics and engineering are two different things. I think physics is more important. I think DPS had a course once I was in school, and that was for software engineering. I think they did a course which was IT. Hamari teacher ka naam I don't remember, but I don't remember the name of the teacher. And जो है उन्होंने जो हमें एक वो बताया उसके अंदर MS-DOS programming थी उन दिनों, and उसमें वो बड़ी huge floppy disk होती थी, and I learned programming on that, and I used to think कि मैं programming कर क्यों नहीं हूँ? If A equals this and B equals this and I want to get A plus B, why wouldn't I write the answer? Because I know the answer. And you don't know that कि आपको क्यों programming करनी है. But now I think, because I have programmers working for me, the reason you learn programming is because you know, it solves problems. If you have a spreadsheet, the spreadsheet ends at 3,000 lines or more than, 30,000 lines, it ends really. But what programming does is it takes all the numbers together and it gives you answers that you need. अब मुझे वो चीज़ें समझ में आती हैं कि अगर उन दिनों मैंने MS-DOS programming जो थी उसमें और attention पे की होती, but you know, it was so early at that time. It was in the 99s, I think 1996 or 95 when I learned the MS-DOS programming. और अब मैं सोचती हूँ कि अगर मुझे उस वक्त पता होता कि जब जो है ना क्या कहते हैं बिल गेट्स और वो लोग भी प्रोग्रामिंग कर रहे थे, उस वक्त मुझे पता होता है कि कंप्यूटर्स की क्यों क्या अहमियत है और ये प्रोग्रामिंग की क्या अहमियत है और ये कहाँ मैं रियल लाइफ में यूज़ कर सकती हूँ, then maybe I would have paid more attention to it. I did pay attention to it. I still have my books, I still have my floppy drives from those days, and something infatuated me. But from in that, लेकिन मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि उसको रियल लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स के कैसे मैं यूज़ कर सकती हूँ सॉल्व करने के लिए. बिकॉज इट वॉज बेसिक थिंग्स के अगर आप A है और इसका इक्विवेलेंट ये नंबर है और B का ये है, एंड हाउ डू यू, so you know, you have to do what if A equals B and you have to do find this and that, and उसमें प्रोग्रामिंग में आपको फाइंड करना होता था और एग्जीक्यूट करने होते थे, कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट्स होते थे एंड थिंग्स सच एज ऑफ दैट नेचर, एंड आई डिडंट रियलाइज कि वो किस लिए यूज़ हो सकते हैं. So I think that's one thing that needs to be done, and you know, maths necessary नहीं है, but certainly programming is necessary. Even the basic जो skills आप बच्चों को दे सकते हैं, it's necessary, and I think DPS should start a class for that. It did help me. It certainly did. फिजा changing education trend, मेरे व्यूज़ में थोड़ी दे भी चुकी हुई हैं इस बारे में अपने opinions, और काफ़ी बेकार opinions हैं क्योंकि I don't want to discourage the kids that are going into those schools. लेकिन स्कूल सिस्टम हमारा जो है घरों से चल रहा है और काफ़ी घरों के अंदर छोटे छोटे स्कूल्स खुले हुए हैं, वहाँ पे बच्चों की एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ की जगह नहीं है. आप किसी घर में जाके रहें तो बराबर में से आपको सुबह के स्कूल प्रोग्राम्स और नातों की और उनकी आवाज़ें आ रही होती हैं. मोहल्लों में हर जगह स्कूल्स हैं, विच इज़ ग्रेट. आई थिंक एजुकेशन इन जनरल इज़ ग्रेट, एंड दैट्स इफ दैट्स द वे इट इज़, दैट्स द वे इट इज़. लेकिन आई थिंक किड्स डू नीड अ लार्जर प्लेस, और कराची बहुत ही एक हॉच पॉट सिटी हो गई है और उसके अंदर जगह की जाहिर सी बात है कमी है. तो उसके अंदर आप सोच सकते हैं कि one of the things that the city obviously needs is larger campuses and larger schools which are not available, and that's one of the things I really would say. The other thing is tuition. You know, सब tuition pay करें, तो स्कूल भी आ रहे हैं, tuition भी जा रहे हैं. I don't know कि teachers का जो responsibility है, they are obviously responsible enough, that's why they're still employed at the school. लेकिन एक ट्रेंड बन गया है कि अगर मेरा फ्रेंड एजुकेशन लेगा, एक्सक्यूज मी, किसी और टीचर से सेंट पैट्रिक्स में, देन आई हैव टू डू इट टू, अदरवाइज आई वोंट एक्सेल एट दैट सब्जेक्ट. ऐसा नहीं है. आई थॉट ऑफ इट दैट वे टू, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है. एंड देन यू शुड certainly pay attention to your teachers at school, and I think if you do and you excel it and read your books, I think you can do as much as you would do with tuition. And tuition की fees जो parents दे रहे हैं, it's totally I don't know, it's unnecessary in a way. अगर आपको लगता है कि आपके बच्चे, this is the guide to parents, तो excel नहीं कर रहे, then maybe tuition is the way to go. But I really think you should stick to the schooling that's provided at your institution, at school, and see what you can do, what you can put in, because nobody can teach you. I mean, even if you're going to a tuition place, they can't really give you something in the water, right? कि ये पी लें और आपको पता चल जाएंगे सारे solutions. You still have to strive and give it 100%. Why not do it with the classes you attend at school and pay some more attention and give that exclusive time to studies? I think that might help. Although I'm shooting from the hip here, I've not tried it myself. It's not a tested formula, but I think it certainly can help. So nowadays stereotyping is, this is Ilsa saying this, nowadays stereotyping is common in our society and people are like, only men can do certain jobs and women can't. So what is your opinion about it? Ilsa, I'm from an all-girls school. I'm a feminist by nature. And, alhamdulillah, I don't think there's anything that girls cannot do that guys can do. I would say that girls should not back out of what they're doing. If they start on something, they should not back down. This is something what one of my teachers at school, and I would say Mrs. Valot said once, is once you sign up for something, don't back out of it. Once you start something, don't back out of it. Go through with it 100% and put your belief in it, and it will happen. And that's what's happened in my life. If you see in a nutshell, if I've believed in something and I've jumped into it, if I'm not sure about it, I will never do it. If I'm sure about it, I will jump in with both feet, and I will certainly strive and do it. That's the same thing women should do. And they should keep at it until they're recognized. So this is the thing I would say. There's nothing that's stopping you girls. I mean, you guys are go-getters. You know it better. If you can control your significant others, if you can control and run your families, you can do anything. And our society has that, कुछ भी नहीं होता जो ना women की face देखे बगैर और उनके mood देखे बगैर. तो अगर घर आप rule कर सकते हो, then you can rule a lot of things. Don't sell yourself short. It's just an excuse. Fatma Yusuf, great question. My schooling had everything to do with me as a career and as an entrepreneur. I was, there's a lot I've said already in today's conversation. Please go and play it back, and inshallah you will get your answers. I'm trying to speed up a little bit. I think we have about 13 minutes left in this conversation. Thank you so much, Sadia. I really, really appreciate your, your great sentiments here. What is my best school memory? You're falling down on those cemented, concrete paths. No, I'm just joking. My best memory at school was winning for the greenhouse. I think the last year I was there, we won the trophy, and I was kind of the leader in all of the things because it was my senior year. So I had to actually lift it because I had won the most medals that year. So that is my best memory and great memory. And we ran around the whole school with those trophies around with us. So it's like, that gives me a lot of satisfaction, basically. I'm a go-getter. I'm very competitive. So if somebody competes with me, I try to, obviously beat them at what I'm doing. So that was a great accomplishment. And I would still say, that was big. Here we go. Let's see. DPS, so what changes would you make? Mehwish asked me, DPS, so what changes would you make? That's the question for them. Ridwan, funniest moment at DPS? Funniest moment at DPS. There's a lot of funny moments at DPS. I cannot say one. And if I were to tell you the funniest moment, that was a prank I guess that's a prank I will be putting on myself. I have a lot of funny moments. You can ask my friends, and I'm sure they'll comment on here. But I'm not going to say it. There's a lot of funny moments in DPS. Lekin, bahut sare funny moments, and I would be embarrassing a lot of my friends if I said something here. I'm an honest person, so I won't say it. What do you think was the one teacher who helped you too much? Mehwish, a lot of teachers helped me. I wouldn't say one teacher helped me. If I contradicted with a teacher, I didn't like their teaching style, I figured out in the later life that because that teacher contradicted me and I was putting up a fight with her, it shaped me in the way कि मैं अपने आप को बैकअप कर सकती हूँ हर चीज़ के अंदर कि अगर टीचर कुछ कह रही है and then I didn't have I didn't agree with them. I would go research and I would put up an argument with them. कि नहीं ये है ये है, like, but that shaped me, right? That brought me where I am. So I would say कि her teacher, every teacher helped me, and alhamdulillah, I'm blessed to have all the teachers I had in my life. I really am. What would you suggest for young students' usage of gadgets? Like you said, there were no gadgets in your time. Computers obviously is a big thing. I have 2 kids now, alhamdulillah. One of them is 7 years old and the other one is 3. So I have a 7-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl, and the biggest challenge I have with them is their FaceTime with their iPads and their computers and their the mobile phones. And we don't limit it as such. हम लोग उनको जो भी वो करना चाहते हैं वो करने देते हैं. और मेरा जो बेटा है, he started playing Call of Duty, which is a very vicious and it's the gory game from this age of 2, and he excelled at it, mashallah. We brought him to some competitions too, and I never actually discouraged him from doing something. And even though he had some issues with his eyesight, लेकिन हमने उसको रोका नहीं, because the only thing we could get out of that is rebellion. तो किसी को भी अपने बच्चों को stop नहीं करें. जो वो करना चाहते हैं, let them do it. If they are going to excel at it, maybe he's going to be a great game programmer. I mean, if that's what he likes, I'll let him do that. You know, gadgets के अंदर और चीज़ें भी आ जाती हैं, सेल फोन्स आ जाते हैं, मोबाइल ऐप्स आ जाती हैं. मेरे 7 साल के बेटे के स्कूल के अंदर आजकल यहाँ पे टैबलेट यूज़ होती है, उसमें you know बहुत सारी ऐप्स हैं जो स्कूल में यूज़ कर रहे हैं वो लोग अपनी एजुकेशन के लिए, रीडिंग के लिए. So if that's what kids are interested in, and nowadays that's what kids are watching, make sure you do it on the app. I think that's the best way to do it. यानी कि ये solution है इस चीज़ का basically. Major issue we're facing in society, what do you think is a major issue? I think Pakistan has become a very diversified nation. कुछ लोग बहुत extreme उस पे हैं, religious views रखते हैं, कुछ not so extreme. I think that's a major issue as far as कि हम लोग साथ मिल के रह नहीं सकते as a country, as a society, as a culture. And there's में बहुत सारी international चीज़ें भी आ जाती हैं जो conspiracies हैं different countries, because Pakistan, if you look at it, and I'm from the import industry, so I know Karachi is a big hub that serves China, that serves Iraq, that serves Iran, that serves Afghanistan, that serves the West Hemisphere in China, because they don't have a seaport, and that's what they use is Pakistan's seaport, and now they're developing Gwadar. तो आप ये चीज़ देखो कि आपके सोसाइटी के अंदर कितनी इंटरनेशनल लोग हैं जो आपको कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स जो पैदा कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. If Pakistan realizes that, if Karachi realizes that, and they like have one front where there's no diversification, and they say, look, we're one country, I know you're going to come and do this in our country, but just realize that we are going to be one. That's going to happen in the long run. The reason that doesn't happen is people pay off people in cheap terms, and they do whatever they want to do. They hire thugs and they will pay them, and they'll have them do whatever. And the whole problem to the society is better education. हर चीज़ education से start होती है. If you have better education, you'll get a better job and you'll earn the money that you really deserve. लेकिन वो चीज़ है नहीं ना हमारी सोसाइटी में. हम लोग इसलिए यकजहती से रह नहीं सकते क्योंकि हमारे अंदर इतनी ज़्यादा डिवर्सिफाइड वो हैं. हमारे यहाँ या तो पॉवर्टी लेवल यहाँ है, या हम लोगों के मिड लेवल यहाँ पे, और हाई तो बहुत ही हाई है, ठीक है. It's a very posh society, and I think that's the thing. इसमें बहुत बड़ी demarcation है हमारी society के अंदर, and that's not helping. अगर सब एक दूसरे को एक ही नज़र से देखें, and nobody is compared than to another person, or सब humans and they bleed the same color and they're of the same basic nation, even though they might be different, following different religions, different sects, different classes. I think that would play a big part, and I think we need to show a united front to everybody who's coming into Karachi, into Pakistan, and trying to rip our country apart. You know, I think that's the biggest thing that I would say here. Yes, DPS environment has changed quite a bit. I would say the uniforms are a little bit shocking. कि बहुत different colors and different वो गए. लेकिन we used to have the checkered light blue collars, and the light blue checkered thing on our pockets, and I think the slogan is the same, knowledge is power. But अब तो uniforms के 2-3 colors आ गए. I don't know, I will never warm up to that, because that's not what I used to see DPS kids in and students. But you know, whatever the admin thing is right, and whatever the parents think is right for their kids, obviously uniforms से कुछ नहीं होता. I think it's more about what the kid is getting in the school. It's just an appearance, and I don't know. I can't comment on that. I'm not there myself. My kid doesn't go to the school, so मैं उसमें इतना further detail comment नहीं कर सकती. Thank you so much, Hafsa. I really appreciate it. Your answering or for stereotyping is great, is really inspiring. Thank you so much, Asma. I really appreciate it. Your encouragement is actually my driving factor, all of you guys. What is your opinion about online schooling? Faraz, great question. I actually when I came here to the US, one of the things was offered to me was online classes, and I never ever went to the online classes because accounting online se ho hi nahi sakti. I needed that interactive session with my teachers. The online schooling अच्छी है. If like let's say the courses I just recommended at MIT, वो free courses हैं online, वो try करें. If obviously it's MIT, right, and you certainly will get a lot of, at least the name is going to be there. Any college you apply to, अगर आपके पास MIT का certificate है which you've done while you're doing your schooling at DPS, that's excellent, right? That's a great plume in your back pocket. तो आप जो है ना ये सारी चीज़ें करते रहें. Online courses is the way to go. But I was never personally a fan of online courses. And I've never been through a lot of them. Maybe one or two which I couldn't get, and I needed to do that to get to my graduation. I did those, but really I wasn't a fan. Ilsa, why did I prefer to go abroad? Why not stay here? Ilsa, I was from a very conservative family. My dad is from a Sindhi background, from Thatta, and my mom is from, her parents migrated from UP to Karachi. And when I graduated from school, मुझे पता था कि मेरी जल्दी शादी हो जाएगी, and I might be pursued into it. Because जब बच्चे graduate होते हैं, especially बच्चियाँ graduate हो जाती हैं, the parents are either very cooperative with their girls, and they would say कि जाओ जो करना है करो, like जो तुम्हें बनना है बनो. And the second one is the school of thought कि इनको जल्दी से इनकी शादी कर दो, because they can settle down and they're off our heads. ये headache हमारे सर से टले और हमारी responsibilities ख़त्म हो जाए वहाँ पे. तो ये चीज़ें होती हैं दो. अब मुझे I was very uncertain and I needed to take charge of my future. So I said, look, if I'm going to stay in Pakistan, there will be a lot of people influencing my future, and I really didn't want that. My mother was a working woman, and I had a lot of uncles and aunts that obviously played a part in my life, and my grandfather also. And I knew कि सब मेरी life shape करने की कोशिश करेंगे, and everybody would have a say in it. And to break away from it, I had to migrate abroad and see what I wanted to do. And that was my way of doing it. So that's why I did it. I always wanted to come back and do something for Karachi in Pakistan. You can ask any of my friends, and obviously they know this. But, the thing is that I'm trying to give back to the community in Karachi in Pakistan. I didn't stay there, but that didn't mean I cannot do anything about it. I will, alhamdulillah. And I have future plans where I'm trying to get all the kids from the street into schools also. It's still a developing idea. It doesn't happen overnight. It was something that I wanted to do a long time ago. And it's still, obviously a motivating factor every day for me. And every day we talk about it. There's not one day that goes by which we don't talk about it and do something further about it. The other thing is to actually do a country-wide platform के ऊपर एक competition रखना है, जिसमें if you have an entrepreneurial skill, if you have something that you've developed, if you know of an idea, bring it to the table and we will incubate it. We will fund you in getting that done. तो हम लोग वो start करें in 2017 के अंदर, and that's something we really, really want to do. And even those kids जो higher education नहीं ले सकते, जो उस idea को develop नहीं करवा सकते या कर सकते, हम लोग उसको जो है ना develop और hone करने की कोशिश करेंगे. जो बच्चे जो हैं अब स्कूल से निकल के अब उनको कमाना है और घर तनख्वाह लेके जानी है, उसके अलावा वो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, उनके पास टाइम नहीं है, उनके पास मीन्स नहीं है, उनको ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म देना कि वो आ सकें ऐसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे, और ऐसे ही उनको मीन्स प्रोवाइड करना कि वो कुछ बन सकें, अपने पाँवों में खड़े हो सकें. उनके पास अच्छा आइडिया है, आई विल फंड इट. आई विल लेट यू ऑब्वियसली टेल मी कि ये कौन सा आइडिया है, क्या है, अंडर certain obviously legal requirements होती हैं यहाँ पे भी, वहाँ पे भी patents होते हैं, different चीज़ें, and then obviously give them a share in this incubated idea. तो ये चीज़ है, and I want to give back to the community in that sense, because not everything you do you will take it to your grave. There's always a point where it's sufficient, it's enough for you, and then you do much more for other people. So that's, I've always, alhamdulillah, I've almost, I've reached that point, and now I'm almost there when I can do these things for and give back to the society basically. I have admins, but I'm facing difficulties. So should I switch? Difficulty as in kya Nimra? Tum usko time bhi de rahi ho ki nahi? And then you said I'm pre-engineering as my subject. I have pre-engineering as my subject. If you're not, that doesn't motivate you and that doesn't really inspire you, pre-engineering, so I think you should certainly look at what really inspires you to do that. इसमें किसी और की influence, इसमें किसी और की influence होगी, तो obviously you're not doing it with all your heart and soul. So find something that really inspires you and you do it from your heart and soul. Thank you so much, Hafsa. Accurate points. Thank you so much, Huda. I'm not trying to be accurate, yaar. I'm at a point where I can give you some advice from my experiences, but I'm not an expert by all means with a lot of the things. So obviously you have to learn from these and then obviously see कि आपकी चीज़ें किस तरह आपको develop करती हैं, shape करती हैं. Obviously I've mentored a lot of people in my company and they've really excelled, so maybe I'm doing something good and I'm doing something right for them. हिस्टोरिक सब्जेक्ट्स, ये मेरा लास्ट क्वेश्चन होगा शाम का आज, आप लोगों की शाम का, मेरी सुबह का. Mavish, historic subjects really did shape me to understand the historic subjects, the history, and really obviously it tells you where you're coming from, where your grandfathers came from, what did it do to actually make this great place which you call home over there in Pakistan. So most definitely, your hands down, ये तो एक question है जिसमें obviously I would say कि history is really important because that shapes your future. आपकी roots जब strong होंगी तो tree भी अच्छा grow होता है. So once your roots are strong in Islamiyat, then your Urdu language and your history, obviously you will, that's your support system basically. If you're a plant, if you consider yourself a tree, you're going to be strong as anything, right? So आपकी bases हमेशा strong होनी चाहिए. And one of the things is this history, and the history of Pakistan in itself has so many sacrifices. And if you can imagine कि हमारी country के लिए अगर लोगों ने इतनी sacrifices दी, so why can't we actually establish something better now for our future, for our kids' future? Obviously there's a lot of pollution and things going on in Pakistan, and obviously we have to work towards getting that down, and the CO2 levels in the society too. I'm just saying, I mean, aside from the history and the future thing, a lot of it goes to the environment also. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do probably, inshallah, one more session. And I want to keep it as interactive as possible. Thank you so much, DPS, for giving me this platform to be here and giving me the background that I really obviously needed. One of the things I would say as a closing comment is, a lot of the things that I am here because of is I'm obviously married, and a lot of things come from and are given to me, and the baton to do a lot of these things comes from my husband. So I would say, guys, in this chat, encourage the women in your life to do whatever they can do. Don't sit them at home. They're not here just for cooking, and they're not here for just the cooking part of the life. आप उनको support करें. Maybe they'll excel at what you're doing even better. So don't suppress the women in your life. Really don't. See what they can excel at. Because अगर वो घर पे बैठेंगी तो आप ही का दिमाग खराब करेंगी, इसलिए बेहतर है उनको बाहर भेज दो और उनसे काम करवाओ, क्योंकि they can excel at what they do. Thank you so much. Inshallah आप लोगों से बात होती रहेगी. I have to go, but inshallah I will talk to you guys soon, and hopefully we can meet at another time and I can give you some more inspiring thoughts and answer your questions. Thank you so much, DPS. Thank you so much, all the alumni that's here. Thank you so much, the teachers that have joined and obviously given me what I am today. Inshallah, aap logon se baat hoti rahegi. Please connect with me on Facebook. My Facebook page, the professional one, is the Amna Shah. The other one is, I'm also on LinkedIn with Amna Shah. And the mobile app I was talking about is www.i-card.me. Or you can also look it up on my the Amna Shah profile. Thank you so much, guys. Alhamdulillah. Allah Hafiz.